The quiet hum of rural Adelaide can be deceiving. Out here, where the city lights fade into a blanket of stars, the shadows play tricks on your eyes, but sometimes, what you see in those shadows is terrifyingly real. This is the story of Nazi, a young girl whose ordinary night turned into a fight for her life against something that should not exist. Nazi lived with her family on a sprawling property just outside the city limits. It was a peaceful life, filled with the sounds of nature. One evening, as dusk settled, her parents went into town for groceries, leaving Nazi home alone. She was used to it, comfortable in the familiar silence of their old house. She was reading in the living room when she heard a strange scratching sound at the back door. She thought it was just a possum, a common visitor. But this sound was different. It was rhythmic, deliberate. Curiosity got the better of her. She crept to the kitchen and peered through the small window in the door. Standing on the back porch was a large, stray dog. It was gaunt, its fur matted and patchy, but it was its eyes that sent a shiver down her spine. They glowed with an unsettling, unnatural intelligence. The dog just stood there, staring right at her, as if it knew she was watching. Nazi backed away slowly, her heart pounding. She double-checked the lock, her hands trembling. The scratching stopped. A heavy silence fell over the house. She tried to convince herself it was just a stray, that it would wander off, but a deep primal fear had taken root. She returned to the living room, but couldn't focus on her book. Every creak of the old house made her jump. Then, a new sound. A soft thud from upstairs, directly above her. Her blood ran cold. The dog was on the porch. How could anything be upstairs? She strained her ears, listening. Silence. Maybe it was just the house settling. She tried to laugh it off, but the fear was a tight knot in her stomach. Then, another sound. A slow, dragging noise from the hallway. It was getting closer. Nazi's breath hitched. She couldn't move, couldn't scream. The sound stopped right outside the living room doorway. She squeezed her eyes shut, praying for her parents to come home. When she dared to open them, a figure was standing in the shadows of the hall. It was tall and unnaturally thin, its limbs long and jointed at odd angles. It wasn't human. As it stepped into the faint light, its form seemed to ripple, to shift. For a terrifying second, she saw the glowing eyes of the dog from the porch, set within a distorted, half-formed human face. A choked scream escaped her lips. The creature's head snapped towards the sound, and it let out a horrifying cry, a sound that was part human shriek, part animalistic howl. It started to move towards her, its body contorting with each step, bones cracking and reforming. One moment it looked almost human, the next, its limbs stretched into wolf-like legs. Nazi scrambled backward, her mind screaming. This was impossible. This was a nightmare. It lunged. She dodged, pure adrenaline kicking in. She ran for the front door, fumbling with the lock. The creature was right behind her, its grotesque shadow falling over her. She finally wrenched the door open and bolted into the night, not daring to look back. She could hear it chasing her, its heavy, uneven footsteps pounding the earth. She ran without thinking, her lungs burning, tears streaming down her face. She just knew she had to get away from the house, away from that thing. Headlights suddenly cut through the darkness. Her parents' car was pulling up the driveway. She screamed, waving her arms frantically. The car screeched to a halt. Her father jumped out. His face was like a mask of confusion and alarm. Nazi collapsed into his arms, sobbing, pointing back towards the house. Her father stared into the darkness. There was nothing there. The creature had vanished. They searched the house, the property, but found no sign of an intruder. No footprints, nothing. To them, it seemed like an overactive imagination. A young girl spooked by being home alone. But Nazi knew what she saw. She knows that in the quiet corners of the world, in the deep shadows of the Australian outback, things are not always what they seem. She never forgot the night the shadows shifted, the night she came face to face with a shapeshifter, and to this day, she never, ever stays in that house, alone after dark. Some secrets are best left buried in the Adelaide hills. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the shadows.